Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master today. Today, we are continuing on with our ongoing campaign playing Jeff Talanian's very cool Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. This is session 31 of our Reavers of Thule campaign, and with me today are the stars of this campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you? First up, I've got Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing a Mar, who is a Teak monk from 18th century Earth, and I am 5 pushing 6, baby.
Nice, very nice. I like your Anton LaVey look for today, too. It's very good.
This is called I was working on the roof before I came to the game, so I didn't have time to prepare my hair.
I totally understand. I was wearing a hoodie all last night because we got another cold front come in, so we got more fucking snow.
Yeah.
Next up is George.
Hey, I'm George. I'm playing MacLeod Black, who is a Chimeric Celt Warlock. He's level 5, nowhere near level 6. But one day.
Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Arter. He is also level 5 and not particularly close to level 6.
Nice. Next up is Dave. Oh, Dave, you're muted, or not. The audio's not working at least. Are you in the Hangout still? Let's see what happened here.
He is in the Hangout.
He's in the Hangout.
Doesn't show in this movement.
I've had that happen. Okay, so he's out. We'll do Dave's intro in a moment here. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl. I play Iphigenia Acantadora. She is an Amazonian warlock, also 5th level, and probably at the same point that Malo and Arter are. Very far from 6th.
Mm-hmm. Well, she missed all the fun from last from last time. And next up is Robert.
Yes, I'm playing Reagan, a Viking Celt rune graver and rune carver. Sorry, I'm still stuck on something.
I blame the DM for that.
Yes. And she's 4th level. I still think I made an accounting error somewhere along the way, but she's about 3,000 away. And also back to the hair thing, I think my wife's going to attack me with scissors. I hope it's for a haircut.
Dave, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So, Dave, you're
Awesome.
last up. Dave, who are you and who are you playing?
I am Dave, and I am playing Gwenrig Jensdaughter, I think level 3 fighter who I don't think I leveled. I just I didn't last time, and yeah, she's named and modeled after a character from my last novel who was a magically empowered berserker. So
Nice. Okay, so guys, last session was fairly eventful. What happened last time?
We decided to head back into the keep. We found a larder. We heard felt some kind of strange vibration coming from the floor. We heard some things talking, and I wrote down one of Kane's quotes, which was, "When all you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail." So we found a chamber with these travelers. We think travelers of Lang, and this really weird, strange device that was crackling with energy. We fought a couple of those little creatures, and everything was kind of hot and humid, kind of tropical.
Yep.
And we then passed through the magical archway because one of them ran through it into this weird metal hall, like this black metal, and an entire structure made of it, which you can see on your screen. And it was easily twice the size of a normal human, so it's massive. And we heard beastmen, and they charged us, a lot of them, and as well as another one of these travelers who was casting magic from the back that was really screwing with us. And a lot of us wound up going down, including Mallow, who's currently at -3.
Yeesh. You also, let's see here. Oh yeah, you guys have -3, -2. My goodness. The humidity as well too. The temperature and humidity in here was pretty substantially different from what you were used to in Thule.
Right, which is cold and dry.
Yeah. So it's humid and it has that smell of Amar's jungle home. Let's jump right in. We got 2 characters who are quite badly injured. Were both of them critically hit. Gwenrig's not dead, though she suffered a pretty horrific injury from a little bit of a friendly fire situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't gonna mention that part.
So
There's a fair bit of blue on blue last session.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
All right.
So I can Reagan will immediately go to those most critically injured and do a prayer for the dying for them. So it will heal 1d4 for everybody who is at less than 0.
Well,
And they may only benefit.
Yeah, you have to roll separately for each. Prayer for the dying is a yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, and I don't think who did I heal earlier this day from that? That was Amar. Yeah, I did that for you, didn't I? Because this is all the same day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Amar, you're out. So unfortunately, I can't do that for you. I can't do that for Amar. And so I can only do it.
So with that spell, you can only do it once per person per day. Is that the rule?
Let's take a look here.
Yes, it says
Yeah,
it says any individual can only benefit it from one.
The staff
once
of
per day.
healing.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the good
So
old BX 1E staff of healing. Yep.
yes.
Ah.
So Malo needs it.
Yep.
Sorry. And
Well, you tried.
It's only D4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a cantrip.
Oh, the prayer for the dying.
Yeah.
Ah,
I thought you said
Man.
you had a staff of healing.
well, okay, there we are. The magic doesn't work so good in here apparently.
No.
So that would be for Gwenry.
It is a poor craftsman who blames his tools.
I blame the cantrip now.
Or roll 20.
Yes.
One of them.
Okay.
I'll take it though. Better than
Okay.
-3. Right?
Oh yes. Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay.
I thought you said you had a staff of healing.
No, I have a staff of curing. There's a difference. Curing does things like madness and disease and other stuff, but nothing to do with actual damage.
I mean, I literally thought we were all gonna get wiped out or have to run. So I'm, it could be worse.
Well, I'm glad that that apparently the Beastmen are so stupid that they didn't realize that because it sounded like from what Kevin said that the critical thing was that Gwenrig was being considered one of theirs and then got cut down. So it's like they saw some of their suddenly allies get cut down and they're like, oh, we better run.
Is there anything? Is there anything we could do from our?
Right.
I think they're still out. Or two.
To explain,
so-
Gwenrig, yeah.
If we look back towards where we came through, can we still see the inside of
Yep.
that? All right, so maybe what we should do is grab the unconscious people and drag or firemen's carry them back into our side of the magic portal.
The only issue being,
Or the Thule side of the magic portal,
If it's possible.
okay,
if that's
It was-
possible.
it was open when we came into the room. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We can still see through it. The question is, can we actually walk back through it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and then the other question is, how long will it stay open? Like, will we be able to come back in?
That's true too. But I'm unconscious, so I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say anything.
I think surviving is better.
Yes, I agree. I'm just being a devil's advocate. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. I mean. Yeah. Let's go back through. Reagan can certainly help. She's got a 16 strength. So.
Okay. And then Iffy has kind of run through at this point as well too, and she can help because she's
Yep.
quite strong as well. All right.
So,
Is she still injured from 2 sessions ago?
You can heal one. You guys would have had 1 day of healing, so give us what is it? Your hit dice plus your con modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe how generous healing is in this game. God.
I literally was just thinking that. I was like, it's not 1 point. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
You've clearly been playing a lot of D&D when you feel like that's a whole lot of like, good God. Can you imagine if we were playing 5th?
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
I actually run it with one of the options from the DM guide, which is like 2 options. One, you don't when you sleep a full day, you don't get any hit points back, just hit dice. And what you need on a short rest, you need to expend a healer's kit to actually get any hit points back, which I like as options on the DMG because it makes it a little bit less like, oh, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, we're up.
Yeah. Whack-a-mole.
You have to kind of establish that from the beginning, or you have a rebellion, though.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. So let me move you guys back to the basement of Ironfang Keep.
I don't think the healing worked entirely. My throat's not. I can hardly talk.
Dave,
There's an arrow still taken in there.
Dave, I thought you were actually just stabilized at like -9 or something, or was he stabilized at 1? I'm trying to...
I think Gwenrig's at 2. That's what was on my character sheet when I left. When I got in today. So.
Okay, got it. Good. I'm not trying to...
It was the astonishing fortune that we earned for Arter giving up his bow.
Yeah.
To save Gwenrig.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I guess
awesome.
the scene we see is all you guys going in and the bow is left behind in that black metal.
Well, I was gonna. Who's the baseball player who breaks the bat over his knee? I don't know if you can do that with a bow stave because it's bendier. But
you got an
seems
18
like
strength,
that would be a
don't
cool
you?
image.
It's meant to flex, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an 18 strength?
I have a
Probably
16
bend it the
strength,
wrong way.
Yeah.
so I don't know if I can do it or not.
Yeah. If you ever really want to know, go ahead and roll. What do you call it? Feat of strength.
Feat of strength.
Yeah.
Feat of strength.
So this will either be a dramatic moment or a moment of comedy in the movie.
I attempt it, but do not succeed in breaking it. So I toss it away.
Should that be higher? Because you're a fighter, right?
For feat of strength?
Yeah. Don't you get the bonus to feat?
Oh, I probably do. Let me double check.
Except for that.
I had mentioned not being able to talk at all, but I don't know. That might be like some really crazy role playing.
Yeah. I think.
If we were in person, it might be okay because I could use like body motions and gestures. But like over roll 20,
True.
No, you're right.
Maybe
The 24 is with the bonus, and if you got a 16 strength, that's with the 8% bonus.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So you guys are all in the basement down here.
maybe I just won't talk so much today.
Okay. Kane is going to go storming off. He's pretty pissed and needs time to simmer down. But the rest of you guys come through, and again, there's what you see in that arch, in that against the wall there, the western or eastern wall, is this metal, black metal kind of apparatus that seems to be built in there, and then it appears, instead of where the wall should be, it appears as if it goes through to this black metal corridor. So, with all of you guys coming back in here, let's see here. What do you do next?
Seems like we need to set up a watch or something down here, right? We don't want anything coming through without us knowing. We also obviously might be good to check on our army and make sure that they're still, no fang dragons have attacked them or anything like that.
Yeah. You come back and 100 years has passed.
Oh, man.
I really wish I thought of that. I really do.
Yeah.
God, that would have been great.
Totally.
Well, even just a couple weeks, they might have taken the castle and we appear,
Yeah.
But
True.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it seems like those are as I see it, the two priorities right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So the only problem I have with and unfortunately we have to keep going through that stupid room, which may or may not respawn wraiths. Okay. So we should probably go back out to the keep first, and then send somebody back down to keep a watch on this door, or maybe we check everything up there, give them
Well, the people, maybe the people that are least injured can stay down here and watch, and the others carry the injured up to see if there's any sort of. I don't think we have any healing though.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're gonna need to sleep. I think maybe giving orders to the people in the keep, and we're all gonna need to sleep. Then the next day, give orders to the people in the keep.
How long did this witch give us?
I think as long as we wanted, it sounds like. I mean, she was fine with letting the Seven Sons siege us, so I think she's in it for the long haul. That would be my guess. Does anybody remember differently? That she gave us a time limit?
Not. Oh, I mean, I'm unconscious.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Not that I remember.
You remember nothing, George.
That's right.
Yep.
And Glenroy can't speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So we could have
Oh, yeah, I'm
Colin.
unconscious anyway. So.
We could have Colin be in charge of the defenses after we come back. I don't think he wants to re-enter this hellhole. and then the rest of us, after we've healed up, we could come back and watch the portal in shifts.
Well, I think what Carl says, like Iffy's pretty much like right as rain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if he could stay down here for now,
sure.
and hope that the wraiths don't come back when you try to run up to warn us that there's a problem.
There is a door that you have not, just as a refresher, that you have not actually been through this door yet.
Oh.
Are we on a different? Did you switch us to a different screen or?
Did I?
No, not yet.
Maybe
I'm
I can.
not seeing it.
I did not. That would be why you can't see where I'm pinging. Extreme
Like,
theater of the
More
mind,
more
guys.
coffee.
There we go. So
Imagine
you-
a red
you
circle.
you guys are right here.
Okay, cool.
So that's what I said.
we have-
stored them.
Yeah, on the
We haven't
eastern
gone through
wall.
this
That's
door
Carl. That's where they saw the apparatus that led them through into this this other area. And there's like a purple
Great.
lightning that's playing around on it.
Okay. Okay.
And the door I was talking about is the one right here.
Yeah.
Someone-
And we haven't looked to the north either. There's like a passageway. Is that right?
That is how you guys came
That's where
down.
we came from.
Oh, that's where we
Yes.
came in. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, how else did we get here?
Yeah, that's
Kind
how we
of.
came in.
That's like a spiral stair that
Yeah,
goes up
yeah.
to where the wraiths were. I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
We haven't gone through this door here.
no.
That's right.
Should we? Well, Reagan will go and listen at it
Okay.
just real quick,
Okay. Let's see.
just to see if there's. What do I need to roll? Or are you rolling for me?
Yep, I got you. So you listen against the heavy, wooden door. You don't hear anything on the far side.
Okay. I look at the others and say maybe we should check this out when we come back.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I just need to confirm
I
that
can-
a mimic can appear as a door. One sec here.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
A fang dragon.
I used to trap. I used to trap her
Maybe
as a
the-
rug.
The flame dragon.
Maybe
One of my
there's a
game last
creative
Monday.
maybe there's a creative goblin pots and devices behind there.
Sorry, Carl, what'd you say?
I used to trap her as a rug
Yeah.
like last Monday.
Oh, so
Someone
good.
said, I grabbed the rug and attacked him. It's funny.
It grabs you.
Grabbed, yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
They actually, it was a crazy sequence because it was like the only. So basically, like the characters attacked, and it's not like an armor class 10 creature. It's like armor class 3, and for 2 rounds everyone hit
Oh, nice.
and just annihilated it.
We had the
Which is
opposite
crazy.
last night with I used a tentamort for the first time, and
Oh, I like those.
oh, they're so good. Dave it ambushed them, then it surprised them, and then they lost initiative. So I got 3 rounds of Dave's character just getting slowly constricted more and more. Yeah, it was
Don't they like inject like a poison that like a
on the other one. Yeah.
acidifies you or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think I killed a character with the tentamort back in Lost Caverns of Sojunk.
Oh, nice.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
That's
fucking
what they're
great monster.
introduced.
Okay.
Not dead yet.
Not dead
Oh,
yet.
excellent.
So,
Okay.
let's see. I'm assuming you guys are going up, so let me just move you guys to the kitchen here. Boom.
The status of all my characters, I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. That's a lot of PCs in a lot of my campaigns, so...
Yeah, it's almost as if he had it out for you, Dave.
Okay, so you guys get here, and again, like, once you get upstairs, the temperature definitely drops quite a substantial amount. And, Iffy, you're staying down watching that door. Right, let's move you back here. What do you guys... So, Iffy missed... Like, she was not with you when you guys went in and had that insane melee with the Beastman or the Vormis. What do you tell Iffy?
You fought him in this room here?
So we fought two travelers from Lang, I think is what we're calling them.
Yeah.
Or rather, we killed one of them and one ran through the magic portal. And then we went through the magic portal, and then we fought a whole bunch of beastmen and ultra beastmen, and killed a bunch of them, and suffered grievously in the process. So if you see like a pack of beastmen coming up, maybe don't fight them and just kind of run up here and grab us, and we can try to all take them at once or something.
Yeah. I'll probably keep watch at the base of the stairs, just in case I need to do that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So if he's seeing this technology that's down here as well too, it, yeah, I think that given your Amazonian background,
yeah, they have flying ships and stuff.
Yeah, so like you recognize this as not magic, as some kind of, you know, it is something that was built, but it's clearly not something built by a human hand. Like it is I think a type of science that is either rejected by the Amazonians, or it is something that just is unknown to them.
Okay. So destroy the portal, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that
you
would definitely recognize that. Like this is, you know, the technology is a lot easier to disrupt from your experience than what, say, magic is.
Okay. Well, we're supposed to come down here to free somebody, right? That's the goal.
We're to put the spirits to rest that are in the dining hall.
Presumably it's through this portal.
Presumably, we haven't found anywhere else. Although who knows? It might be through that little door.
That little door, right?
The portal is unlike anything you've seen in this. I mean, to be honest, in your life, and certainly different than anything else here.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys get up to the kitchen. Where do the rest of you guys go?
Into the courtyard.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's some way that we could. There isn't really anywhere to go without going through the banquet hall main area.
Unless it's through that door.
So I think we have to go through.
You guys can take a bunch of wraiths again, right? You're fine.
Okay.
Sure.
Arter, well, I don't know if we probably have one person carrying Amar and two carrying Malo, because that Amar seems like he's probably lighter than Malo is in all his armor.
Yeah.
But Arter will set down his half of Malo, I think, and step into this room to check for wraiths.
Okay. It definitely is still cool in here.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing manifests, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you spare a look up one side and the other. Your breath still comes in condensed mist, but no, nothing appears.
All right, then I'll go back and say, all right, it looks like we've got a clear shot to the courtyard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kev, just a real quick question. So we know that door down, there's the one door we haven't looked at down there. Were there any doors in the let's see, in this dining area, there's this one, but I think that's in through. There's one to the south, I believe. Well,
What do you mean?
sorry, let's go in and I can show you if I recall. Or should we go back in? Go head towards the courtyard.
Yeah, let's go to the courtyard and then we can talk about our strategy while we're, you know, fixing up Malo and Amar.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about right here. That door just goes into that south tower, I think.
Yeah. That's the very first time we came.
Yep.
I think it was Amar and Malo went through that door and saw the ghosts and yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go through and carry the rest with us.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
I'll tell you. Do we have to train or anything in this one?
Nope.
So just roll your hit points plus hit dice?
No, you get it's a fixed amount. So you'll get you're level 3.
Yeah.
And your fighter, so you're going to get 6 hit points from this level, plus your con modifier.
Did we already do that? Do you know?
If you have a 21, we get max hit points at first level, and then you get 5 at second level, and you get 6 at third. Do you have a con modifier?
Yeah, I have a 18 con with a HP mod 3.
Holy shit. Okay, so you would have 13 hit points at first level. You would have gained 8 more to get you at 21 at second level, so you have not added yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 5 plus 3?
6 plus 3.
6.
It's you get it's like a round down as average of your hit dice. You get half rounded down at odd levels, rounded up at even level, or the other way around.
Okay. So do I just add 9 to both current and?
Yeah, add to both. So you have 30 hit points now. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
High con. All right.
So Reagan's going to do what she said she was going to do and just grab Kane before he storms off completely and says, hold still for a sec. And does the Staff of Curing on him. She had 55 charges left on it, and each one of those uses 3.
Okay.
So,
and which effect is it you're using?
Cure Madness. I assume I have to do it twice for the...
Yes, for both of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. He is cured.
Yep, like I said, I would have preferred to do that on camera, but with him. But given the fact that I always forget,
can you cure Colin's angerness?
Well, that's what I did.
Bring him back.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Right.
I'm working on it.
Now, if you guys want to get out of, unless you want to stay in there, you're going to want to get out, and then it's you guys tell me what you're doing next, and I'll tell you if something happens.
Well, I think the first thing is we
All
want
right.
to go around.
Hold on, Robert. Let's let everyone else move out first.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Let's go out and I'll let you move
Okay.
Amar and Malo.
Okay. Sorry. Now I can't find Amar and Malo.
That's because you got to
Well,
let
we
him
can't
let him
move.
move out
Oh, okay.
first.
Okay. I thought you said. I thought you said you were gonna let me do it. I was like, what? They can't
No,
move
well, I
themselves?
meant to Kevin if he was controlling them, or I guess
Got
the
it,
players can move Amar and Malo
Yeah.
as they're
Yes.
being carried. So
There you go. Okay.
yeah.
So, what happens next, guys? It is. I think you guys went in. It was still early in the day, wasn't it? This was like
I think so.
Yeah.
So and
Um,
it's I'm going to say about an hour has passed in the time since you went in. So you guys coming out all bloodied and 2 of you unconscious is definitely getting a lot of attention from people. Inigo and the Moretta brothers all come over to find out, like Esteban and Diego. Want to know what the hell happened.
And Reagan's now beginning to think that maybe we should have cleaned ourselves up first. Well, we discovered some beastmen still hiding out in the keep, and we took care of them, but they took a toll on us.
I see. He gestures at the 2 unconscious forms. And this, he walks over at, because Esteban, actually it'll be Diego was the boss. Diego goes over to Gwynrig and kind of like, moves your head one to the side to take a look at your injury. He says, "Can you speak still?" This is... Are they still down there? Or are there more? Or that was the last?
We think we've cleared out the keep itself, but we will probably be needing to go back down to check further to make sure there's perhaps some avenues we have not yet explored.
More? How far down does this go?
We don't think much further down. Just
Much
be very
further.
careful.
So there still may be more. Do we need to post men down there?
Iphigenia is down there currently. We have full faith that she can get to us if we need to, and then we can take care of what comes, if anything does.
All right. So let's drop more into like narrative time here, guys. What do you guys want to have happen over the next little bit here? Do you have access to any other healing?
I don't think so.
Yeesh.
Correct.
So you guys kind of have to wait till you heal naturally then. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't remember if it's... I think if you're below 0, it might be different healing than the full hit die, but I don't remember for certain. I
Let's take a
think
look
it
here.
might be only 1 per day if you're below 0.
That's all right. Let's see.
Oh,
I
man.
looked at it and give me a second. I've got it open.
Okay.
If you're stable at negative, you have to rest, complete bed rest, and you regain 1 hit point per day, plus your con adjustment. And then once you hit 0, then it goes to the hit.
The hit dice. Oh, wow. So what are Amar and Malo? Do you guys have a hit or constitution modifier?
+1. So in one night, in one day of bed rest, I would get +2, which take me to 0.
And,
then,
and how far down are you?
I'm at -2. Yeah. So that would get me to 0.
Right, and I would do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, once he's conscious, Reagan can give him the horn stuff.
Actually, can I give him the horn stuff while he's unconscious? It's not like he can't drink, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Or, yeah. So
Well, can you do the horn again today?
Not today. It'll have to be
Okay,
tomorrow.
so
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so it seems like we want to put Amar and Malo in the makeshift infirmary that we've got going.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
freezer.
I'm gonna say half of those
they're not dead.
can go out here, so you guys can hear. I'm gonna put in the middle of the courtyard more of these troops that are refreshed.
Kev, what was oh crap, I already forgot his name. What were the reactions of the people we were talking to Reagan's explanation?
They're not, I mean, the fact that there are unplumbed depths in there, they're not particularly thrilled that they've got an army outside, and then there's apparently also an army beneath them, or threats beneath them, so...
Right.
Yeah, not thrilled.
Should we? Yep. So Reagan, off on the side, asks Arter, do you think we should mention that we have a what do we want to say? An agreement with. Technically, it's not the army, but we say we have an agreement that army will not attack us for a day or two.
I'm
asking Arter.
unless you're making that up and you're trying to fib with the witch never said that.
Yeah, true. But she
Also,
said
Arter wasn't here for that, so that would be news to Arter. So
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it along the lines of she said that the army would not attack, or was that wrong?
I'm unconscious, so I cannot.
She kind of said we would be destroyed, or the army would destroy us. Either way, right?
Okay.
We'd have to succeed or we're done for. But she did not specify a time frame.
Oh, I thought she.
She would let it. She would let us know.
Yeah, I see. Okay. All right. I'm
So-
misunderstanding then.
independent of the army that is at our gates, Arter would feel more comfortable down with Iphigenia at the the magic portal, or what he thinks is the magic portal that
Yeah.
Iphigenia can tell him is not,
Yeah.
because he feels like that's kind of his.
Of course, yeah. And if things go south, we'll just burn it down like we did before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
We can also, if more of us, or even just the two of us, want to go and check these doors and see if there's anything back here in this kind of little alcove, we can go ahead and do that. I don't know, Gwynnerig and Reagan, I think you guys will have to decide what your position is going to be for now.
Yep. Let's say Reagan's going to try to stay relatively central. She suggests that we still keep the same watch that we had before on the, at the various towers. And
You're running out of men for that.
well, okay.
Yeah, to be honest. So what you'll need to do is you've got people currently stationed. I think if you just put these guys over here, you'll be able to rotate them around and keep them fresh. Right now, you've been trying to make do with the limited amount you've got left.
Yep.
But if you want to have some of these ones on watch, also walk the walls, because currently you have nobody. You've got 2 in the southeastern tower, and that's it. Those are the people keeping watch on top.
Okay. Kane, maybe we could make Kane the. You don't want us to control characters who aren't here. Kane would probably stay down here anyway.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Reagan will certainly offer to move between groups and try to keep morale up. Although she did such a great job in her explanation, they may not want to see her.
Okay. Okay. So she'll. That's what she'll be doing. What about Gwen? Dave. Let's not do this though. Like, I don't.
Okay.
We know that she can't talk. We know that you guys can't talk. Don't feel you need to sit and not talk through the session.
Okay. Well, I'll say what Gwen does. Gwen points to her throat and then the infirmary and follows where they took Malo and Amar.
Sure. Okay.
I'd actually written it out. I was waiting for it to see if it was going to hit. I'm like, what's going on? My roll 20 is super slow.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Just okay. So she heads over, and Amar and Malo don't look. They look stable, but they don't look great. And I think Malo was taken down by a beastman, right?
Yeah, and I think at least Reagan probably can tell that in a day it'll be a big difference for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Amar as well.
Okay.
So it's not like they have to wait a week. So if they were thinking about waiting some amount of time, we might be able to join them on a foray back into this weird metal corridor.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody's planning on going in directly today. So,
I don't think we're going in. Although it's going to be with only 2 of us, it's going to be long watches down there.
Okay.
But
Reagan could. Yeah, there's only 3 of us up.
Is there like a surgeon or a doctor or somebody taking care of the wounded down in the infirmary area?
There's one of the troops that's effectively working as a medic, and that's really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys don't have an apothecary or
Gwen walks over to him and like starts pointing to her throat and it's like, "Help me out, damn it," kind of thing.
Okay. So in the basement, you guys, you said Arter. You may want to look at that door as well.
yeah.
Okay.
We knew that door that led to a small area. We didn't think it opened up into a whole, other part of the complex or anything. So it might be a closet. Literally. So
yeah, it's actually their walk-in closet. It's full of shoes.
Okay, it's
10,000 gold pieces.
Just from the what we know of the kind of dimensions of the keep, it didn't look like it was going to become a massive area.
Yeah.
Unless there happens to be.
Well, it also seems like Iphigenia and I might want to search it before kind of settling in for the long watch on the
Yeah.
portal, because
Yeah.
we don't want, there to be like a beastman in there who pops out and tries to attack us while one of us is sleeping or something like that.
Totally,
Or
and it's possible there is another level even farther deeper
Yeah.
below the keep,
Right.
because we haven't found. We are looking for somebody, which is the stranger who's in some kind of cage, and I don't know if that's a
Right.
stranger in the metal. He's trapped in the metal other dimension area, or
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
below actually below the keep. So
Okay. So Archer, you can cover me as I open the door.
Okay. So you throw the first door open, Iffy, and then what you see beyond there is a second door. This one has it is more sturdy than what the other is. It's got iron bands around the bottom. It has a little, what looks like a little like slot near the bottom, like as if you would pass things through. You've seen dungeons before. This appears to be a dungeon.
Yeah. Okay.
huh, interesting.
There is a door, like a, what do you call it, like a little portal or whatever you could open up to look inside there as well.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay, so you do that. Now, do you guys? How are you? The other room is lit by the the lightning and whatever else too. So
Yeah.
you're gonna want to light a torch or
Well,
something.
probably, light a torch.
Okay, so you light a torch, and when you I'll move you over here. And as you pull the door back, what you see standing in the room, where is he here? Is this.
Does somebody have the stream open and unmuted, because I'm hearing everything
Yeah, I hear echo.
fainter twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does someone have? Yeah, if you're listening.
It sounds like somebody has the stream open but unmuted, and so we're hearing it coming over their microphone a second
For the
time.
delay.
Yeah.
Because
So
of
I
the
hear it
delay.
too.
Okay. What you see standing in there is this.
Oh.
Okay.
And he is just standing on the far side. Let me open the door there.
And it's possible. I mean, Malo had described his
Yes,
strange
he described
vision.
it.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked last time I was here. We asked
Yeah.
you about it.
Cool.
Okay. So in this figure, now the thing that's different about the one you see is that he also has a cloak on his shoulders that is very similar to what Malo wears and to what Amar wears, with the same clasp of the Rangers.
I look over my shoulder and I say, Archer, it's that. Was he called the traveler? What was he called?
No, stranger.
It's a stranger person that Malo described.
And he looks over, he looks at you, and there's a strange bit of a pause, and then he sort of in a halting way says, "Will you release me?"
Artero will whisper, "Is the stranger supposed to be a friend of ours?"
Yes.
He's wearing the cloak like the others guys do.
Oh,
Those guys are allies.
Yeah, he looks like a ranger.
All right. Well, yeah.
Well, then let's let him out.
Virginia says I will let him out if possible, or try to pull at the door then,
Sure.
because I will do so. I will do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the door, you open the door, and seemingly, if you were to guess, this guy's been standing, waiting for you to see him. I guess you open the door, and he just casually strolls forward, and then past you, and as he walks out, sort of takes time to study both Arter and Iphigenia, and he says, a second here.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, everybody, what I told you is that I had promised to find and free him, and then he would provide us more information about what's going on.
Yeah.
So as he walks out, he
I do tell him as he's walking by, your contact Malo is pretty injured and unconscious.
Malo.
He told us about you. He's a warlock like I am, but uses fire.
I see.
I describe Malo to the best of my ability.
When he walks out and sees the arch of technology, that seems to particularly interest him. And he's looking and taking this thing in. He looks, he is, like you can see in the illustration, he is some kind of First Nations guy. You're not sure, I'm not sure any of you guys have, apart from the dear departed Amaguk, you're not sure you've had a lot of contact with those folks yet. But he seems particularly lean. As well too, like poorly fed, and as he walks out, while he's interested in the two of you, the thing that really catches his attention is this arch, and he seems to be studying it. And you can see the reflection of the purple lightning in his dark black eyes.
Yeah, I describe what. Well, Archer, I guess you could describe what happened beyond the portal.
Yeah. So Arter will kind of first gesture at the whole thing and say, do you know anything about this? Because there was a whole horde of beastmen on the other side of the portal, the doorway.
He seems to be contemplating what you're saying. A doorway, then. And he gestures towards it. That's what you see this as.
Sort of. It's like a doorway that opens one place and closes a different place, if that makes sense. Because it's hot and humid, and one of our companions says it's kind of like his home over on the other side, kind of jungly. And like I said, full of beastmen. And there's black metal, and it's been a very strange day.
It is some sort of science or technology type of gate. Is there anything else in the room that he was in?
You look in. It's a prison, and
Okay.
there's nothing else is in there. It's effectively like there's maybe a cot in there. There's some stains in there, which you would guess would be blood.
I moved my token to be me backing up to give him space to inspect everything, because I was kind of in the way before.
Okay. So he walks over and studies this thing. He gets close to the apparatus near the wall and kind of puts his hand up towards it and gets close. You can see the lightning, the electricity is playing up and down this apparatus, very, very close to where his hand is. And he brings it back and looks at his hand. And he turns back to you, Iffy, and he says, "Thank you." I am Skakomo.
As I introduce myself,
I think he says,
Iphigenia.
actually, what he says is, you can call me Skakomo.
Can you give us a spelling on that, Kev? You have a sec?
Got it.
Oh, great.
And he says, "Are you the masters of this abode now?"
Well, we are trying to make a diligent effort to do so, but we are besieged by an army of rivals.
You are sorcerers?
I am what is called a warlock in this world. I have martial
Well, I mean,
skills
like
and also
in
can
fiction,
cast
they
spells.
wouldn't, you wouldn't be knowing what your class is,
Okay.
right? Like, you know.
No, I thought that's what the class was called in the world. Like that can both use martial. And
I think that in fiction, like, you're someone who is a sorcerer who just happens to dabble in sorcery and also master weaponry. There's not like in the fiction of it, there wouldn't be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'll amend that and say, yes, I am a sorceress, but I can also fight, as you can see by my arms and armor.
And he turns to you. You are a sorcerer as well, Arter?
No sorcery, just good old-fashioned muscle. And I used to have a bow, but that kind of went wrong. So,
The bow went wrong.
oh, it's been a really, like I said, it's been a really rough day. But I have my sword now, and we're hoping that you can help us deal with the myriad of issues surrounding this keep.
He looks around.
Malo said you could help.
You have helped me. I can help you. He turns and looks down through the portal as if like looking deep down into the area. And he steps a little closer to that sort of shimmering, aura that marks the transit zone between where you guys are and into the other area. And he stands just before it, staring down, ignoring you guys. And he says, without turning, something stirs.
Skakomo, do you mean something in there?
He turns, says, yes.
Okay. Is there a way to disconnect the doorway? Like to not have the magical or technological connection between the two spaces?
He looks and says, yes. And he walks over.
Do you know how to do it?
He walks over to one area, part of the apparatus. To your eyes, it's indistinguishable from any of the others. He sort of looks around, and he pulls a couple of things, turns some things. You hear some clanking, and then it's gone. The apparatus is still there. The power is gone, and what you see is a bare stone wall.
Can it be reactivated if we at some point want to deal with what stirs inside?
He looks at you and says, This is a doorway to many places.
Now I see the importance of this keep more.
No doubt why you wish to be master of it, sorcerer.
We did not know about it, honestly. However, there are others that seem to maybe know more than we do that were interested in this.
There are others who know more than you?
Oh, right. Yeah, I tell them about the witch. And, that I felt like she wanted access to the keep.
Well, and Mallow, we told you about him. He's in pretty bad shape right now, but maybe in a day or two, he knows the most about you, and he's got a cloak like yours. And
he's injured.
Yeah, he and Amar are both in pretty bad. Well, and Gwynner.
He is
They both wear
disciple of
their cloak.
The disciple of the burning skies.
I don't know if he ever said what his order name is or anything, but
I say well, he worships the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, I think after he had that vision in the camp with the Wemmick, I don't think he shut up about it. So
Exactly.
And then my order's going to have this, and it's going to have this, and it's going to...
If he says burning sky, I associate that with the Aurora Borealis. So I say that's what I say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he says, very well, take me to him then.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Cool. Well, I guess our duty is up there, Archer. We didn't burn down the castle.
So as he's walking up, he walks out. You guys lead him over, and when he sees...
Oh,
go ahead.
What about this wraith thing? Yeah, I tell him about this. I explained to him about this room, the banquet room here, and what we fought in there as well.
He seems to... takes it in. There's not a lot of emotion that shows in his face. He seems to All right. And
They were Hyperboreans, right? That were fighting like a member of his order.
Yeah, there's like a squad of Hyperboreans in their distinctive conical helmets.
Well, what
fighting
you
against-
can remember is that there are. I'm trying to think here. Why doesn't everyone? Let's see here. Arter and not everyone. Arter and Iffy. What are your wisdom scores?
12.
12. Okay.
Mine is. Oops. 12 also.
12 as well. Why don't you each give me a d6 roll, please? Okay.
Right in the middle.
Arter. As you're walking up, as they're making their way up, there's something curious about this, and maybe this is just, it's something that's different. On all of them, the clasp that is on this thing's, keeping its cloak in place. It is identical to the clasp that Amar wears, but it is different from the one that Malo wears.
So Amar wears the one that we found in the
Yeah,
cave,
the cavern way back.
versus Malo wears. Where did Malos come from? Did they come from here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So theoretically, Arter and myself both trying to piece it together. Then that means that Skokomo is wearing one of like the newer models, the current issue Ranger clasp, versus Malo has one of the like old style ones from back when this was a Ranger keep. Certainly he'll Arter will, because Amar and Malo are both unconscious and lying in the infirmary. Arter will kind of point out that they have the cloaks and ask about the clasps on both of them to Skokomo.
What does he do? Sorry.
Arter is right. We're taking Skokomo to the infirmary to look at Malo and Amar, so
Yep.
he's going to point out the clasps and kind of ask about them and see if Skokomo can help answer like kind of what the significance of them.
Okay, so what do you say? He walks in and he's looking down at Malo there, and he seems to be, again, like there's a bit of a studying him kind of look on his face.
So Arter will say, the cloak that he wears, we found it here in our first assault on when we took it from the Beastmen.
Right.
Is there the clasp on your cloak? I can't help but notice looks more like the one on our buddy Amar's cloak, and he'll point to all three different clasps and
He'll look at them. Yes.
Is there any
He says,
significance to
a
that?
moment. And he walks over and does he have, I don't think he's got gloves on, but he brings his bare hands over and he places one hand on Malo's head and then another on his chest. And he closes his eyes and leans his head forward. And what you can see over his exposed arms is there begins to be this, like, his veins begin to sort of bulge, and then there's color that sort of is lost from Skokomo's arms, and then, like, blackened veins, small, like as if like capillaries and such, or capillaries, I can't remember how to pronounce that word, begin to sort of break and discolor across his arms. And Malo, you are healed of 5 hit points of damage. So you're up to 3. So what happens as you sort of jerk awake?
I sort of come to and I, look around for Beastmen. This is the last thing I remember. And then I kind of see Arter and Iphigenia and this other figure. And for a moment,
we found your stranger.
I thought I was in some kind of strange nightmare for a moment. You are real. You're here. And then I sort of maybe see I'm assuming that effect on his capillaries, etc., is sort of fades away or something.
No, it's
stays there. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
you look up. You can see that he's got, and all of you guys can see this as well too. It's as if the injuries that Malo suffered in some way were transferred through to Skakomo.
Cool. So Malo sees that and he looks at himself and he puts 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me.
His hands, like the palms of them too. Imagine dried, cracked, almost like eczema type stuff with little bits of blood in the deepest reaches of the cracks. His hands have completely transformed to be that.
You've taken on my injuries. I thank you very much for that. My friend Amar here looks like he's injured as well. Could you help him?
And he looks at you. Yes. Walks over and repeats the same process, but the injury to his body extends further. That makes all the way up the arms, and you think you can see even across the neck. There's more bluish veins as if he was as if he was dying within, or of some way.
Yeah.
And Amar, you likewise, you heal 5 hit points of damage.
Is this any kind of magic that Malo has ever heard of before? It seems completely foreign to me.
I don't think it's anything you've ever...
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You've never heard of this.
I'm totally fascinated by what's happening. It's not necromancy or anything. It's some other thing.
Could be. I mean, if...
Okay.
Yeah, like in theory, if it's transferring life from one to another, that definitely has magic spells and necromancers that can do that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool. So,
although it'd have to be some kind of like weird occult tradition, right? With the way he did it.
It's definitely not anyone who's watching him who has like if he knows how magic. It's like the just like in D&D or like Pathfinder or something like that too. Because everyone kind of casts spells the same way, it tells me that there are fundamental rules for how arcane magic works in this world, and just that everyone has sort of either learned them or stumbled across them the same way. This is something very, very different from what you've ever seen. This is definitely not. It's not venerating the gods the way you understand it, and it's not working, occult magics.
Okay, cool. And
Amar, you likewise, you wake up and you can see this strange, sailorish-looking man with some pretty severe injuries to his arms and hands, and looking fairly lean and poorly fed, standing over you, and he steps back as well.
So Arter is gonna sort of step in and say, "Skakomo, are you gonna be all right? You're not looking so good now."
He looks over, and you can see some of the dried skin on his neck is sort of cracking, and you can see a little, like, not enough to run, but it sort of blood kind of forms up on it. It like pools up inside the cracks of the skin, and you see nothing on his face to indicate that he's feeling any of that. And he says, "I will be fine."
That's good.
The witch of which you speak. Tell me of her.
She is from the Frostwood. Her name is Bergild.
And what is her interest here?
Familiar.
What is her interest here?
I don't know if we are entirely sure if we know the answer to that question.
Well, maybe she's interested in the gate, that portal
Possibly.
down below. Skakomo by the way, shut it off. He pulled some levers on the wall.
Oh,
He nods.
can it be reopened from either side?
He looks at you. Do you wish that?
No, I'm concerned.
Well, you did say that there is something that stirs beyond it that might need to be dealt with. So maybe
Yes.
not for any sort of power, but for the good of this keep and the land around it.
So it can be opened. Can it be opened from the other side?
No.
Okay, that is one good thing.
The travelers opened the gate. They are pillagers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the travelers of Langdale. What do they look like? Like, are they the
short guys.
There's a weird, like, they've got cloven hooves, and they've kind of got like a really squat body and super wide mouths, and kind of
yes.
don't they have like 8
satyrs.
eyes or something too?
My prisoners.
They were your prisoners?
I was a
you
prisoner.
were in the prison.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you're jailers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you that Burgald seemed to be an enemy of these creatures. So perhaps she can be
Are you
an ally of
allies with
yours.
the witches of the Frostwood?
And he looks and says, no. Witches should not be trusted.
Can I ask how long you've been trapped here?
And he stops and thinks, I do not know.
Mm-hmm. Were you simply bound by physical means, or was there something done to you that prevented you from escaping magically? You seem to have great power.
He seems to be sort of trying to judge whether he can trust you. What's your constitution, or your charisma?
My charisma is a 12.
12, okay. Where is it? I know it's on the DM screen here somewhere.
Kev, I like the what's your constitution? That's a better direction. Let's try that. He's gonna, you guys gonna fight it out, and if he thinks you're worthy, he's gonna give you information.
If I can take a punch, then
How Jason would make friends if he was.
If it's charisma, it's going to be a dance-off or a sing-off.
And I expect to see both
by the
Kev
way-
and you role playing it.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, nobody wants to
Oh
see
man.
that.
Which, as an aside, is Kevin finds what he's looking for. In the first adventure of the new Pathfinder adventure path, there is a dance-off.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so he sort of,
And I would say just my disposition.
Yeah,
so
he
you know,
looks
Kev
at
is,
you.
yeah.
and what you hear in your mind, Malo,
Mm-hmm.
is sorry. Well, and what was your question again?
I was going to say my disposition is that I'm trying to be genuine and open with him.
No, I got
That's
that.
my
What
intention.
was
Yeah.
your question though?
Oh, I asked him if there was some magical reason why he was trapped in the that space, because he seems so powerful that it seemed like a simple wooden door would not be enough to keep him.
So you hear in your mind. So none of the rest of you guys hear this, unfortunately. You hear, I am bound to this.
Okay, and so I think what the others
And-
see is me just kind of cocking my head, like hearing this, looking at him.
And what he says out loud, and there is that awkward, like, lengthy pause afterwards as well, and he says, my power has limits.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of flexes his hands, and you can hear the, or you not so much see, but you can almost feel the cracking and whatnot of his. It's no doubt painful because like his hands are completely cracked and dried and whatnot. This is where you need to find that potion of aloe vera for him.
But we all know what it's like because we're washing our hands like crazy. So
Yeah, seriously.
I feel your pain. What do you have an objective here that you need to still carry out?
He turns and he looks at you and he says, "I am a stranger."
Yes, that was the one thing I did know.
Thanks a lot. You
Well,
fucking big motherfucker.
we wish to aid you. We know you are enemies of the travelers, and they are clearly creatures of evil and chaos. Is there something that we can do to stop these creatures of Lang?
What do you wish to stop? If you have
It
seized,
seems like,
you have freed.
well, they're incursions.
You have freed me. You have control over their gateway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess there's the potential that we could travel into their world or wherever it is that gateway leads and assault them. But I do not know if that is a wise thing to do. I don't know how powerful they are. Very powerful, we've discovered, but
The gateway would not lead to what I saw was not theirs. They are thieves. They traveled. He kind of gestures to the, around him. This place is a waypoint for many. And that was the first. It may have been more, but that their goal on the other side of the gateway would not have been their home. It would have been another source of riches.
I see.
He nods.
So will you stay in this place forever?
You hear in your head again, "I am bound."
Mm-hmm.
And he says out loud, "We shall see. I will remain with you. Though
Very well.
I will not truck with a witch."
Understood. She is not one that we would have allied with for any other reason, but we've been assaulted by a larger force, a much larger force. And she was trucking with them and aiding them.
You hear in your head again, "I will not truck with a witch."
You see Malo like halfway through a sentence stops talking.
Okay.
And he just nods.
So, Amar, you are up and conscious now as well. Do you guys... so, I guess, do you have anything else you want to ask of Skakoma?
I don't know if you guys do. I'm right now. I don't. I'm sort of recovering still, I think, and processing what we've heard so far.
I may have missed it. Did Reagan get looped into this, or is she still?
We can say you walked by if you like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I had a question. Now I forgot. Let me. Yeah. No. I don't think I have anything specific, but I'm just curious how much of this she's heard.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, probably not all of it, because she was sort of working with the other troops.
Yep.
Okay, so this takes us to about, I see we're at about our halfway point right now, guys. Why don't we take our mid-session break, and then we can come back and talk about what's going to happen next.
Cool.
Okay, so for those listening at home, we will be back momentarily. Oh, Philippe's got a question. What system is this? This is Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. If you in the description of the video, you can find a link to the DriveThru RPG thing for it. You can find the publisher's website as well too. So if you want to learn more, it is a swords and sorcery version of kind of like a streamlined version of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So back momentarily.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so what are we waiting for? Carl, let's see. Is Carl back? He is not. Okay. Check with Ack. It's a damn cool system. Yeah, totally. No, Ack, you're bang on.
Yeah.
And good morning, Andrew. Hey, there's Pete. Hi, Pete. Kirk.
Carl's back.
Oh, yeah, Kirk says his Roll20 won't even load right now. Yeah, we've heard that there's been some people. Hobbs had a game on Thursday that he was able to get into, but he was hearing that there was other people who couldn't get.
Yeah, I couldn't get in on Thursday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, well, I got in, but it was just really slow and spotty, and one of my players got frustrated and said, "Peace out." So.
Yeah.
But last night it worked really well. I was running a D&D game.
Was this your Broken Lands game?
No, this is I run a 5e game set in Mystara for my friend who is on the oil fracking. He fracks out in New Mexico.
Okay.
No, normally he's in every 3 weeks, so I run the game every 3 weeks. But he's on furlough right now. So.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
he's fine with it. He's got plenty of savings, so he's it's like a vacation.
Well, I mean, those guys who we have in Alberta, northern Alberta, we've got the tar sands, and anyone who works in the oil patch, they sort of for any length of time they get used to that sort of boom or bust cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like in some places in Texas, like Midland, Odessa, same thing.
Yeah.
They work for a while, then they stop working.
I think I was talking
right now. They're
it was Arlen I was talking about it too. But there's a really interesting podcast called Boomtown. I've been listening to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the Texas Panhandle, and it's pretty fucking cool. Okay, who are we missing here? Hey, there we go. And that's actually one of the most interesting things about the Crystal Shard setting, like the Icewind Dale setting. The idea that it's like, a boomtown thing driven by the single, product economy with the knucklehead trout. I really like that take on it as being kind of like a, Deadwood style, thing of the North. Okay. All right, so guys, what is going to happen next then?
Well, so I did want to. So the guy said that he didn't truck with witches, or I wanted to explain the practicality to him, and I was going to say to him, I said, she gave us a deal that would relieve the pressure of the besieging army. I do not trust her either, but it did relieve the pressure. As you can see, there's a war of attrition, and if you look outside the walls, they have many more people than we do.
He nods as if okay.
And undoubtedly,
it's just I will not truck with witches.
That's fine. Well, I wouldn't want to truck with them either. Plus, they have a couple other spellcasters that seem nasty among their group. So, if we don't have to deal with them or truck with them, that would be fine by me. Oh, as an aside, you do not count Malo and I as witches, do you? We do. Or we are sorcerers.
You're sorcerers.
He's a man of few words.
He is.
It's great. I love it.
Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
So then this takes us to about, it's probably a little after, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock-ish is when all this kind of happens. Because you guys, I think that it was probably fairly quick when you guys discovered that Skokomo was being held in there. Now that Amar and Malo are up, why don't we take a moment to talk about what you guys are going to do with your day? The army, you do have that one group that is kind of keeping an eye out for you guys. What they'll tell you is that today the army has been sending out mounted scouts, and it's been sort of reconnoitering. They're not sure if they are scavenging, or not scavenging, but if they are foraging, or if they are, or what they're doing, but they seem to be sort of riding a circumference at a significant distance around the keep.
Like all the way around, like 360.
Yeah, they're not just like going about what they're doing. Is they're sending them out, and you'll see them at one point, and then they'll sort of ride off in the distance, and they'll see them at another point, and they seem to be taking the lay of the land in all directions around the keep.
Okay.
Reagan asks Malo, she says, have we achieved the witch's goals, or?
As far as I'm aware, yes, we have quieted the spirits, and we have freed the stranger.
And it's her goal, and then she said that she would be able to keep the spirits quiet.
I don't think she expressed that specifically or directly, but I think really essentially that she's going to contact us when she sort of potentially senses that this has happened, and then we'll find out more. She basically said she would only reveal information to the stewards of the keep, and we had to prove ourselves worthy of being those stewards by doing this.
Right.
So I think there's more to come.
Okay.
Now I don't know how that changes now that the stranger now that Skokomo is really not happy with us, or. I guess he didn't say that, but he
didn't seem to be angry.
Yeah.
Just he's not going to
truck
with witches.
Right, which is totally fair.
Yes. I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah. So I think we'll have whatever encounter we have with her and find out what's going to happen next with our relationship with her. But I got the impression that if we proved ourselves worthy, she would give us information we need to help keep this keep from becoming haunted again, or I don't know how much she knows about the portal or any of that stuff, but she didn't seem like she wanted to take control of the keep. She just wanted to make sure the keep wasn't a problem for the Frostwood or the region. That's my guess.
She could have access. She could want access to the portal, or at least some worthy protectors of the portal.
That's my thought and perhaps fear, but
yeah, it's valid. We'll see what happens next with her.
Okay. I think though that we should assume that the army will still attack, even based on what she has promised.
Yeah, no, I agree. We should prepare as if we were going to be attacked, and hope that we are not.
Yes.
So do we have our forces organized in a way that we are happy with?
I think they're about the best we're gonna get, right? We've got guys watching in one of the towers and on the kind of makeshift defenses on the broken part of the wall and on the gate, which is now closed. And then we've got enough that we can start rotating guys off of there and give people some rest. So
yeah,
probably about, like I said, about as good as we're gonna get. Do we remember? So we had the meeting. I can't remember his name. Amagook has taken the spot of his name, but the ranger who jumped us in Tuleborg that we met with, did he say anything about the witches?
Not that I recall.
So I was trying to remember if he had it.
Ahote was that guy's name.
Ahote, yes. Ahote, the ranger who we talked to. I'm trying to remember if he said anything about the witches of the Frostwood.
I don't have any recollection of it.
I think, hold on here.
Let me look.
I think that the Rangers are allies of the witches of the Frostwood, if I remember correctly.
Well, because I seem to remember, what I remember of is that the Frostwood is out to the east.
Yeah, let's take a look at the map, actually.
Yeah, so I have their other allies: Mist Hunters, Frostwood Circle, Crusade of the Burning Dawn.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, where is it here? Thule.
Yeah.
So I gotta kind of hop and skippy there. I gotta move some of these fucking things.
I have this great app that I take my notes on.
Yeah.
And I'm using this is obviously my handwriting, but it's fully searchable.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it actually works. And my handwriting is terrible.
So. Yeah. You need to have a benchmark for that.
Well, fair. Fair.
I think you guys have seen photos of mine. You're like, I can't even
Yeah.
read your notes anyway, Madison. What the fuck?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, this is the map of Thule. This is the
Frostwoods.
dude's map.
And then there was recent events. There was the ship crash in the Bay of Mists, and then there was also some talk of like giants out in this direction,
Yeah.
Yes.
or giants or
Raiders.
Jotun or something like that.
Yeah.
The ship. You mean the ship that sunk? The what do you call it? The
There was a
Ixion
crash.
ship? That was in the bay. That was in
Tuleborg.
Tuleborg Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there were
Yeah.
things going on in the Bay of Mist.
There
too.
were things going on in the Bay of Mist.
Artera, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to piece together all of the kind of events going on in the
Yeah.
wider.
Yes.
So
So what you know about the Frostwood Circle? Well, here's there's a Frostwood Circle, which is an association of Lingit druids and their followers that dwell in the primordial Frostwood, and you also know that there is the Coven, which is a circle of Thulean witches who seem to have eyes and ears everywhere in the frozen lands of Thule. The Lingit druids are like the Frostwood Circle is an ally of the Borean Rangers, but the Coven is sort of its own thing.
yeah.
Okay.
And you know that your allies, the Wemmick, the Blackclaw tribe, they were part of the Ranging Prides, and they are allies of the Borean Rangers as well.
Yeah, because they're the ones who knew about Ahote
Yeah.
in general to tell us about him. Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, if we could get the Wemmick to help, that'd be kind of cool.
well, I think at least the tribe that we know, they're probably still pretty weakened, right? Because they were almost out of warriors when we went with them, and then we
Because
lost
the
like
beast
half
then.
of the warriors that we brought with us. So unless we want Wimmick women and children, the Black Claw may not be.
What?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Do you have a problem with female warriors there, Archer?
I have no problem with female warriors.
Oh man.
Just thinking that the
Mala walks out of the room.
the Black Claw may be less interested in sending all of the people who aren't as trained, since it seemed like they had a fairly rigid, gendered social structure based on our limited interaction with them, that they may not be as interested in sending all the women. But if there were a company of Amazons, Iphigenia, I would be the first to drop down my sword for a pair of pom-poms to cheer them on. So in terms of other, right, we're running kind of low on men in terms of defending this castle.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we've definitely lost quite a number of troops.
Robert, I think you're muted because I can see you talking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so maybe we want to go back to Thule and get some more men and maybe some material for our artillerists to actually make some artillery.
Well, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I think what we can't do that until we finish dealing with the Second Sons.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Long term,
Yeah.
get more men,
Agreed.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Short term, how do we win the siege so that we can do that, and also so that the Second Sons don't just execute us as, prisoners of war in a place with no Geneva Convention.
So the witch.
Also, you guys don't have any rich family members either to ransom you to, so...
Nope, nobody that cares.
Well, I say, since we're still fairly beat up, that we hold tight for the night, let ourselves heal up. I can help everyone here and our new friend, and she looks at the stranger, in the morning. And the witch seems to be most active at night like her familiar, so perhaps we will hear from her again tonight, given that we've done what she has asked.
I think that's very possible.
Seems like it might be worth asking Kokomo if he knows anything about, like, the historical scene that seemed to be playing out in the banquet hall.
Yeah.
Especially
Good
if he's
idea.
a ranger, or he at least wears the cloak, obviously.
Yes.
If he knows anything about that, and if so, if he knows anything about like that type of enchantment or cycle of haunting or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah. Because we may not have actually quieted the spirits per se.
Well, or if we didn't check the northmost tower at all, right? So there may be, and we went up to the doorway and it was still frosty.
Yeah.
So he may. Well, that's another thing. We may want to just try to go ahead and take care of that today, in case the witch isn't going to contact us until if there's like one ghost in there that the witch is like, oh no, you didn't get all of them, so might be worth checking that out.
Yes, I mean, I think Amar and myself are still, we would need to be in the back of the party, just for the moment.
Iphigenia and I can work on that, and Iphigenia can like borrow Kane's hammer or something, and I've got a magic sword. And I guess Gwynerig, you can, ASL style, explain to us whether or not you want to come or not.
Okay.
Okay, great.
It seems like that's something that we might want to take care of today, but that's the only thing I can think of as like stuff to do today beyond kind of keep the troops motivated and try to ride out the night so that we can do some more stuff in the morning.
Well, and also I think for morale purposes, it might be good for the troops to see us like continuing on and like exploring the keep, and not like, oh no, huddled and like beaten up. So it does, I think, accomplishes two things.
Let's explore that other part of the keep we haven't.
Yeah.
So I think we'll stick with our standard operating procedure for our troops, and in the meantime, while they're keeping an eye out, we will venture toward the. Should we go through the way we went and walk up to that door?
Yeah, I think we just go through the banquet hall and head north to see what's in the doorway.
Okay. Now, while you guys have been talking as well too, Reagan has been walking the rounds, and Reagan, you have. Let me think here. Where would this be? I think that is when you are coming up to check on one of the hallways on the second floor of the keep. Where you guys have established a couple more lookouts as well too. You're walking up and you can hear and this will be happening about maybe later in the afternoon. This is after the guys have come out of the hospital, and I'm assuming you're gonna have to take like an hour or so just to get like your clothes cleaned up, your in the holes and gashes and slashes and shit that were cut in your raiments from the last fight have been dealt with. So you're walking up towards that, and what you can hear is the sound of two voices talking, and you recognize the voices as Diego and Esteban. Okay. And you wear leather armor, right? Not metal? Yeah. Okay.
Leather, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they don't quite hear you, but as you're walking up, you can hear the two brothers talking, and what this conversation sort of sounds like is, they definitely seem to be trying to talk in hushed tones, which makes you sort of, when you hear that, you sort of slow down and very slowly kind of make your way up, and what you hear is the two of them discussing how to send out an envoy to the other camp without you finding out, without you guys finding out.
And so real quickly, so first of all, she pauses for a moment, listens to see if there's if she hears anybody other than the two of them.
No, it seems like it's just the two of them discussing.
Okay.
Though they are the commanders of the Diego Moretta's forces. So,
Okay.
and what they're talking about is like the two of them. It seems that Diego is more in favor of this than what Esteban is. Esteban is not as much, and he seems to be taking a little bit more. Oh, I can't hear you, Dave, at all. No.
Well, I was trying to talk earlier. I had to reset my chat. Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can. Yeah. So, did you have something to add?
Back when you guys were talking about what to do, I tried to roleplay with Archer, and I'm like, why is nobody acknowledging me? I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
sorry.
Yeah, and your camera's not on either, so I can't even see you.
And then my camera's not on?
I don't see you. Do you guys see him?
I cannot see
No.
Dave.
I do, but I had to
I see them in
reconnect
the
to see him.
hangout, but they're
Yeah,
not in
funny.
there.
Let's hit reconnect here.
I reconnected and now I see Dave.
Do you want me to reconnect?
Let's see here.
No, you're probably good.
I have everybody now.
I do not
I-
have Dave still.
I don't have Dave either.
Interesting.
Okay, so do you want me to
Well,
reconnect?
Yeah, just hit
He looks
reconnect.
pretty good.
I'll reconnect. So yeah, it was weird because you guys were talking to Gwen and then you moved on, and I was like, no, I'm actually trying to communicate.
I can
in
see you now.
that chat, and I'm like,
Okay, sorry, Dave. What did you want to add? We can.
oh, it was just when you guys were talking about what to do and what roles we would go in, and Gwen can still fight. Gwen, tapped Arter on the shoulder and drew her arm back like she's holding a bow, and she's like, like, where's your bow? Like, you say you could stand up front with a sword, and I was like,
Oh,
where's
yeah.
where's your bow, Arter?
It's not gonna be gettable at this point. So the doorway downstairs is closed. Bow's on the other side of the doorway.
And she's like all surprised, like, what do you mean? He points at you, and you're like, you're a bowman.
I'm a swordsman now, baby.
She taps herself in the throat. She's like, not this. Like, you're not doing that because of this, right?
So Arter he's still got his quiver, so he'll kind of like unbuckle the baldric that his quiver's on and hand the quivering arrows to Gwen. Like, if you can find a bow, you can use the arrows. But
She puts her hand on your shoulder and shakes her hand, and she's like, don't worry about it. Like, this is, it happens.
we'll worry about it a little bit.
So, cutting back to the scene where, so what you can hear is that Esteban seems to be sort of like the devil's advocate, saying that this and this and that we've seized this place, we've been paid, and Diego's like, they've killed half of our men. They brought half of our men to slaughter. We don't get paid if they all die, and now more of them are coming up from. There's more that has not been secured here, and I hear tell of ghosts in here.
At this, basically, right as he's saying ghosts, Reagan steps through, and her first instinct was, like, if it was actually a mutiny, if she had just heard like a little bit of it, she might have had a weapon drawn, but instead she simply walks in and says, the lower depths are secured. We checked in the last couple of hours, like I said we would. And sorry, there was some other element that you had said that she wanted to mention. Oops, sorry, I'm getting summoned downstairs. Apparently my wife locked herself out. 1 second.
Okay. We're gonna have to hold off because there's gonna be a combat scene in a moment here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I figure they're not gonna like any of that.
No. Let me just get everything set up here. Anything else happened during the day while you guys were doing this?
Well, like I said before evening, I think Iphigenia and I should check out the North Tower.
Sorry, my son managed to put dirt in his eyes, and they needed to come
geez.
inside. Yeah, so
That's a problem.
yes, right. So so she says the lower depths are secured. We have eliminated the possibility of there being others, unless of course there's that north wall, but she doesn't mention that. And we have reason to believe that the Second Sons will no longer be a problem for us. We have our own envoy.
What's your charisma?
My charisma should be pretty good. Maybe not, though. I don't know if that was a dumb stat from me or not. I don't think so. 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what you say this point? The two of them look shocked, like they didn't realize that you were there.
Yeah, and she's actually speaking. Having heard that, she's speaking more to Esteban than Diego.
Okay. So you're ignoring the commander. Okay.
Not ignoring, but yes. But she's turned a little more towards him than towards Diego.
Okay. So after you say your piece, what the two of them look like, all color has drained from their faces. They both sort of look at each other in shock. What do you do? Are you just like you saying your piece and then you're trying to leave, or what?
No. Then once she sees that reaction, she says, "Go back to your men. You will be watched from this point forward. But if you do nothing else to cause distrust among myself or my companions, I will not hold this against you."
Okay. The two of them sort of look at each other, and the like there's a sort of a wordless bit of communication between the two brothers, and Esteban sort of looks sort of pleading in this, and then Diego kind of huffs and storms past you, and Esteban likewise, after a moment, sort of looks at you again and then follows after him.
Okay. So she will go back to the others and immediately tell them what they said, what she saw, what she told them.
Okay.
She'll also say that Diego may still be a problem because he did not. They basically didn't agree to what she has said. Or they didn't acknowledge what she said.
So I'll just point out as well too, this is one of the things I just love about this style of play, is randomly rolled morale for the army, randomly rolled reaction for the guys.
Yep, of course.
And
yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so they head back down, and when you make your way back, hold on, Robert. When you make your way back down into the rest of the crowd, you cannot help but see the unrest in the army too. You're seeing hard looks from the men and women that serve in your army that you didn't realize were there, and you're questioning now, how long have they been there? How long has this been going on? Sorry, go ahead. What happens next?
Well, so she kind of wanted to at least catch a glimpse of where Diego might be heading immediately.
Back to the tents.
Back to the tents. Okay.
Yeah.
And she goes and she immediately brings this up to the rest of the group, basically saying, "I ran into."
Where does that conversation happen?
Actually, you know what she does? She so the infirmary is over here, right?
Yep.
There's nobody within range here.
Apart from
they could hear. Yeah. I mean, everybody's where they look like they are.
Yep.
She goes to the. She goes basically to here. Calls over everybody. So she moves to about here. And kind of casually, low toned, she immediately describes what happened. And she just kind of glances over her shoulder.
So do you call everyone over then?
The people here. The people,
right. So they're not just standing there. Like everyone's sort of. If you're gonna bring everyone together, you're
okay.
You're gonna have to call all the everyone into one place.
Okay. I thought everybody was sort of in the same area.
No, you guys.
This was after all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, yeah.
Okay. So you bring everyone together near the front there.
Yep.
And this is not. I mean, this isn't unusual. You guys have times where the whatever you're not calling yourself the Lions of Thule. I think you called yourself.
Pride of Tula.
Pride of
Pride.
Tula,
Pride
right.
of Tula.
Right.
Yeah.
The Pride, the Masters of the Pride are, you guys get together to talk, you're the bosses.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, the first thing she says is the men are not happy. And she says, and she kind of glances around and maybe towards some of the people who might be watching us more, and say, if you haven't noticed before, I have noticed, and there's a reason for that. I ran into Diego and Esteban, and they were discussing a way to send an envoy to the Second Sons. I discussed with them. I told them that the keep is secure at this stage. I told them that if I hear no further talk and we see no further evidence, and we will watch them, that we will not hold that discussion against them because they have not yet done anything. But we do need to instill confidence in them at this stage, and I'm not sure I am the best person to do so.
That is not great news. Well, we may be done with the Second Sons soon.
But it seems like we may be near the breaking point tonight. They don't know why we are confident that we may be done with them, and I'm not sure that we can tell them.
When Skakomo was kind of, because obviously some of our troops must have seen Skakomo kind of walking with us. He's not someone they've ever seen before. Did we get a sense of any kind of reaction from the troops that did spot him, one way or the other, negative or positive?
I think that there's some confusion as to where this person came from.
Yep.
You guys went down. A bunch of you came out pretty severely injured, and then there's suddenly, shortly thereafter, a new face that's walking around, and he's not the most, comforting presence.
Yes.
He's weird. He looks right through you. He's got a very odd manner. He doesn't seem to want to interact with anyone apart from, a handful of you guys.
Right. I wonder if we should tell Diego that we now have an ally who's very powerful and has a great deal of knowledge about this place. And he will be a great ally and help us to protect the keep. Just to, make sure that everybody feels comfortable with him there, and maybe even feels, maybe improves morale as well. I don't know if that will happen, but at least so they don't feel like things are happening, it's unclear what's going on, and we're not keeping them in the loop in the proper ways.
So, another thing, we killed one of the travelers from Ling in the basement, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the body still down there?
Yep.
Oh, that's
So
a good
we
idea.
could show Diego and Esteban, like, there's some freaky shit, but we killed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Which
they-
I don't know that that'll necessarily raise their spirits, but it might convince them that there's enough more going on that if we then tell them we also have a powerful ally who's going to deal with the Second Sons or whatever like that, that they might be more inclined to be patient if they kind of see that there's more going on than they thought at first.
Yep. I think it's a great idea.
So you're going to bring the body up then? Is that the plan?
I was going to bring Diego and Esteban down, was my suggestion, because it seems like bringing the body up might freak out the men, but showing it to the officers might be a way to say, like, hey, there's more going on here.
And we can...
and we're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe somebody other than Arter should say that, because Arter is not ready to make any we few, we band of brothers speeches.
I do like that, because then also he will see that there's currently nothing down there.
Yeah. I mean, we can also... I'm
Yep.
eating.
Yep.
We could also take them with us. Take them with us to explore the rest of it, and if they so happen to have an accident, well,
That's not what Arcter was thinking.
So one.
Wonder if Skikomo doesn't like that you mess with Ixian's Iphigenia.
how would he know?
Well, once he finds out,
I don't think he. I think he just does his own thing. Is what he. I don't think he cares about what anybody else does, as long as it doesn't interfere with what he's doing. That's my guess.
I also freed him.
that is true.
But we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
But I like this plan.
Yeah, I really want to know why the witch. I really want to know why the witch wanted him freed. I hope it's not along the same lines.
The other possibility is, remember, the Second Sons have this guy that can be invisible and do whatever the fuck he wants, because we have no way to mitigate that. So maybe he's put seeds of doubt into these guys, or maybe he's shape changed or become a doppelganger of one of these guys.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Could have killed one of them, and maybe Diego. We should kind of look at him.
Are we
more
talking
with
about?
scrutiny.
Are we talking about our men, like the troops?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it wouldn't take much. Like if you are a soldier and half your forces get wiped out overnight, that's a pretty crushing blow to morale. It's not like they're
clearly for male soldiers. For female soldiers, that is not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like when you play a video game or something like that, you can fight until your army dies and they're completely extinct and it doesn't do anything. But in real life, I'm thinking in real life, when men see their brothers die in battle, that's painful. So if we suffered even 30% losses, these guys should be like disheartened. If they see 50% losses, they're going to be like, why the hell am I here?
Yeah. Yep.
And as adventurers, our characters would know this. Any kind of seen or talked about battles, like
Iphigenia doesn't think along those lines.
Yeah.
Well,
So
That makes sense.
most of the characters though would have an understanding of that.
Yes.
If they've known it.
Iphigenia does not think.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I don't think Virginia would think that way, but Malo certainly would, having been a mercenary. So, like these guys, so it makes sense. But it is true that Barislav, the Master of Illusions, could be doing things that we are unaware of.
Yeah.
Right.
So
What if this is all an illusion?
yeah.
It's all in our heads, man.
Yeah.
It's not like we've
Como
been
doesn't.
slaughtered.
What guy are you talking to?
We've been ambushed. We've been
Right.
ambushed, and then I know Kane took the lead in a couple of fights to smash through the enemy. So it's not like we've sat back like the Second Sons do and send their men to the slaughter.
So how about this? We do what was suggested. We take Esteban and Diego down to see the body, and that there's nothing else in the keep. We also offer to pay the full amount that we would have for every soldier that we originally hired. I don't know exactly how this works. Like, would we pay the full amount? Is it usually the full amount per person, or they got everything up front? Basically, what I'm suggesting is that we pay the full amount for every soldier that came, to be distributed amongst the people who are there. So basically, if half are dead, then everybody effectively gets double at the end. Not that will comfort them, or we can offer to pay the families of those who died. Something along those lines.
I don't know if you remember the famous Napoleon quote, but the Bonaparte himself says, "A man does not sell himself for a halfpence a day or a petty distinction. You must speak to his soul to electrify him."
So I don't know that we need to. Yeah.
Offering more money, right? If we offer them money, they're just going to turn on us and take the money and make a deal with the Second Sons, right?
Okay.
I think we can do this in stages and see what happens. So I
think I
going
think
down and
taking them to see the
Alan, you're the classics expert here. This is the issue with Latifundia, isn't it? Isn't that how they were funding, how they got the Roman armies to actually fight for reasons, is because they gave them land?
Yeah, so basically the way it worked is that if you served in the Legion for the full allotment, that you could have a parcel of land, presumably in the territory conquered by the Legion, which, as my 10th grade English teacher put it, this is what you do in every society with old soldiers, is you put them somewhere far away from other people because they're hard to deal with, which he said in a much more comforting and understanding way about the difficulties of being an old soldier. But yes, that the idea of this is kind of how every society treats its war veterans. But yeah, that's how the Roman army did it, is that they gave them land if you survived. And they paid for your armor. So
you watch a game, you're entertained, and you learn something.
Exactly. Okay, so then what are you guys going to do then? No, this is new development. You guys were in the midst of doing something else as well too when Reagan brought this problem back with you. What are you guys thinking here?
I think that it seems like we're saying the first step is going to be to take Diego and Esteban downstairs, and I don't know if we all need to go down there. That might look weird and suspicious potentially, and the rest of us, some of us can stay up here, and Malo is certainly happy to do that. And then step 2 will be to investigate that northern door.
Okay.
I think is what we said so far.
Gwen's going to do a round and just, talk to the troops. Go and bump gauntlets or
Talk to the
something like that.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Life's
pretty good. Right?
Pat shoulders,
Yep.
just
Okay.
hang out.
Okay.
trade your cigarettes for war booty because you're not going to use them anymore.
Right.
Yep.
You effectively had a medieval trichotomy, so
Yes.
Yeah, maybe just bring a wine skin or two with her and share some
okay.
booze
What
with
is
some guys.
Gwenrig's charisma?
Oh, I don't even know. What is Gwenrig's charisma? Let's take a look. Maybe this is something she shouldn't be doing.
Well, let's see.
Oh, it's 13.
13. Okay, so that's +1. So the response that you get is at best neutral. They're happy to take it. They clearly see you as, since you've been elevated to the boss level, you're not part of the, you're not part of the rank and file any longer. So it doesn't do any harm per se, but it really doesn't do much too. You definitely, what I said about the hard looks that Reagan noticed from some of the troops, they're still there. There's definitely some sort feelings along with this.
Yeah, you don't change that overnight though.
No. So, and then what was the other thing you guys wanted to do? You wanted to try and get Esteban and Diego down into the basement?
Yep.
So who is going to make the approach to them?
It won't be Iphigenia because she'd rather put their heads on a spike.
Yeah, I assumed you come with me.
Seems like when Kane is not feeling up to leadership duties, Mallow is our de facto leader?
That's probably true just because he's got that mercenary background and so he can sort of identify with these guys.
Okay.
So he'll be happy to take him down. I don't know if anybody else wants to accompany him.
We might not want anybody to accompany. Well, wait, Mallow only got 3 hit points.
Yeah, that's what.
Trying to weigh the odds.
Yeah.
Maybe. So how about Iphigenia and Reagan and Gwenrig and Amar stay somewhere visibly not part of the group that's going down, and Mallow and Arter will go down, and Arter can tank for Mallow.
Now, I just want to say this, say the plan out loud so we hear what's going on here. So, the army is discontent. They're aware that you're, that they were planning on sending someone out, but Reagan managed to smooth that over. Or at least it appears to be the case. So what you're proposing is escorting the 2 leaders inside the place that is haunted and bringing them down to the basement to have a chat.
And I sheathe my scimitar before we walk in.
It looks like we're going to execute them.
Yeah,
I just want to make
Yeah.
sure like you understand that that's what the plan is, and this is what's going to be, you know, how it's going to be perceived from both Esteban and Diego. Now, they may very well just go along with this as well, too. You guys are certainly more powerful than what they are.
Well, that's part of why I'm suggesting maybe not like the whole group, and particularly seems kind of like they might not want Reagan to be.
Let's do.
Yeah,
what I'm thinking is, what is the goal that you're hoping to get out of this, and is there another way to get to that goal?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, the goal is to kind of, you know, up their morale, and then therefore have that filter down to the rest of the troops. So if we just tell them,
Maybe show them the dead body in public then.
well, I think we can even start just by telling them, like, what had happened.
The troops have already seen horrors. They've seen demons come and rip them to shreds. They've seen their own men jump off the balconies.
Yeah.
So look, we've taken care of some of these things, and they've seen us do it.
That's
Pick
true.
another one and do it publicly, and make sure
No,
you
I-
line them up. Make sure you line them up all in a straight line, just in case. I'm just saying.
That is a good point. I mean, Malo would be, you know, totally fine with bringing the dead the corpse up here.
Does anybody in the group actually have like leadership skills, or
Who has the highest
Kane is
charisma?
our leader
There's no
normally.
skills.
Yeah, Kane
Yeah.
is the most charismatic one.
Yes.
Although Kane's style of leadership is kind of, you know, more shouty than like. Well, he's a real kind
like the
of General
Mel
Patton
Gibson,
kind of
Braveheart.
guy, so.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a better plan.
Mhm.
So Artera, do you and I want to go down and drag this body up?
Yeah, I'm happy to help drag the body. I was originally thinking maybe better not to show it to everybody, but you guys have definitely convinced me that it's better to show it to everybody than to try to take the leaders off by themselves into the haunted.
Okay.
Yeah. Although perhaps we should warn them before, you know, like actually tell them, hold still, we're going to show you something, you know, as opposed to just throwing a body into the middle of the.
Yeah, maybe
Or we can
you
even
guys
ask
can.
them to like
Because those
form up.
demons can be,
Like-
killing those demons, of course, you know, it could be heresy because they disappeared. But
Yeah.
you know, this one, look, we killed another horror that these second sons have been dealing with. We can lie about that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Actually, Arter said something that I think was useful. Have them form up and.
Well, we could just have them form up like parade square style,
Yeah.
or you know, something. Because that's kind of a good message to send to everybody that we're still a disciplined army that is able to do
Yep.
things like that, and
Yep.
then B, we come out of the keep carrying this thing from Ling and drop it at their feet and say, "All right, boys, stab it with your swords to prove that it's mortal," and I don't know what else, but.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good unifying thing too. If they all walk by and you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
thought. All right.
So maybe you guys organize all of that while Artera and I go down and get the body.
Okay. So Malo and Archer, when you get down there as well too, so let's take a look at our friend the robed stranger again as well. As you sort of roll this thing over, you know, it's like it's disgusting, like Jabba style tongue kind of lolls out of its mouth, and you realize that that thing on its head, it sort of falls off, and it's a cap of some kind. You also notice that now that you're actually, it doesn't have a big backpack on, but it's otherwise a good depiction of what this thing looks like. But around the waist, there is a pretty impressive looking dagger that's got a lot of like the what do you call it? The what's the word I'm looking for here? The scabbard has a bunch of like stylized metal accoutrements on it that depict like a spider, and it has as well on one of its 3 fingers. It has this ring that is like of a meteoric ore that has some rubies set into it.
Cool. Okay, maybe we should strip those 2 things first.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking we could just, cut off the robes entirely and act like this is more bestial than
Yeah.
it seems
Civilized.
to be
Yeah.
in its kind of behavior.
Oh yeah, stripped down.
Yeah.
I mean, it has human organs, in sex organs. I mean, but otherwise, and it has a rough approximation of human like musculature and stuff like that. But it definitely looks very like there are lots of things like trolls and things like that your army has faced on the way out here that have a similar sort of vaguely humanoid, physiology, but are otherwise completely inhuman creatures.
Cool. Okay, that sounds great. We'll strip the body. We'll leave everything but the dagger and the ring. We'll take those with us for further investigation at a later point.
The cap, the cap seems to have.
Right.
Yeah, it has. It has some like arcane markings on it of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, so you guys strip
Cool.
this thing
Okay.
down, and the army is apart from like keeping one or two people on watch. The army is otherwise, set up in the courtyard, and then Arter and Malo, you drag this thing out, and
just before we do, I'm going to. I happen to have 2 detect magic spells prepared.
okay.
I might as well just cast one of the detect magic spells just to see if any of these 3 things are magical.
Now, and remember, in for this game as well too, I let you use detect magic to learn the
to identify.
yeah, exactly, without the
Yeah.
crazy penalty. I was so soft a year ago. God, such a softer DM
that's
than I am now.
Turned into a real grognard.
Yes. I think it's Gronyard.
I'm probably infringed.
Yeah.
but
And I like.
it comes from It comes from Napoleon's Old Guard, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
maybe, I
So
don't know.
what you find is actually, there are 3 things that are enchanted on this, and what they are, that dagger, that is a +2 dagger of venom.
Oh, cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Wes had one of those.
Yes.
Mm.
The ring is a. Well, I guess I can just tell you guys so you can look at the stats. It is out of the core rulebook. It is a ring of shooting stars.
Oh, cool.
And
I love
the
that ring.
hat is a lucky hat. Also from the core rulebook.
Cool.
Cool.
So the lucky
Alright.
hat increases by 1 the wearer's chance to hide, move silent, open locks, pickpockets. It also gives +1 to saving throws that occur in a thieving context, and +1 bonus on reactions in situations. So like trying to talk your way past a guard or something like that.
If only Preta, who Arter doesn't actually know because we never met, were here.
Yeah. Well, you do have, Amar
Well-
has a lot of those thief skills.
I guess, Amar
Yeah.
has one.
I've got a little bit. At least the
Yeah, I
sneak-
lost my. Yeah. I lost. Are you sharing that with us, George?
I will once we do this whole exhibition
Okay.
and everything kind of goes back to their places. Then we'll bring those items out and I'll explain what they are.
So I will let you guys go ahead and give us a description of what happens here. This is, it is absolutely going to be a heartening thing for them. So tell us what happens, guys. How's the scene play out?
So we drag the body out, and it's kind of flopped down in front of. We've got the whole parade ground. Everybody standing in formation. I think Arter pulls out his sword and stabs the thing, and he turns to Malo like, "All right, say something. Tell them to stab it."
This is a beast that we have slain. There were more as well. They are also slain. He draws his scimitar. Shring.
Mm.
It is a mortal creature. These things can be killed, and we shall kill more of them if they dare to confront us again. And the same will happen to the second sons. And Malo slashes down with the scimitar into the chest of the creature, like spurting blood.
Mm.
Men, you shall all partake in this victory. Come forward.
The blood flows very much like, it's congealed a bit because it's been all day, but it flows like a man's blood. Like this is
Great. That's exactly the effect I think we want.
Yep.
Step forward.
So the first kind of nervous recruit steps forward. It's not nervous recruit. These are hardened soldiers at this point. So the soldier steps forward wearing his the heavy plate, kind of looks at you.
Now bare your blade and stab this creature and feel that it is real and part of this physical world and we can destroy it.
The first one, he kind of spares a look back at Diego, and Diego kind of nods his head. The sword comes out and he hacks it.
Slap on the back.
Yeah. Okay.
And I call the next one forward.
Okay.
And kind of keep that rotation going.
So as this goes on, someone in the back begins to sort of, as this is going on, begins to sort of beat on the shield. And this begins to move through the army as well, too. And you can then picture the line of soldiers going by one by one by one by one. And as they go along, too, like they're starting to get noisy as well, too, and a little raucous. Some of the injured soldiers from the tent kind of stumble out as well too, and they see that what's going on, and it takes is one of them to go running over to go and grab his weapon. To suddenly the hospital tent is emptied, and they're all going to grab their weapons to line up and do the exact same thing as well. And the noise of the beating shields, like as they complete this, each of them goes over and begins sort of, if not beating their own, they're beating an ally's shield as well too. The horses seem to be a little dispirited or disquieted in the kennel from all this noise, but they also they keep beating on this, and then one of them starts breaking out in a ballad, like a war chant or a war song, and this very quickly leads to the rest of them jumping in on this too. And as the last third of the army is going through and doing this, the remains of the denizen of Lang are a fucking bloodied mess. It would, like a blind butcher at work on a carcass would do a better job than what is left of this thing, this mess in the middle of the courtyard. The soldiers are all eagerly running forward and sort of hacking away, and the song that they're singing, the beating on it begins. You can definitely tell that this is carrying up and over. The ones that are keeping watch on the eastern tower are joining in on this as well too, and you can as the last of the soldiers goes up and hacks down, Esteban and Diego take their place, and they both walk over. They two of them walk up. They kind of meet eyes with each of you guys, and Diego finally meets eyes with you, Reagan, and then hacks.
Reagan, Reagan gives him a smile, and before he does, she puts her hand on his shoulder.
He nods towards her and then hacks this thing as well. Turns around, raises his sword up, and the whole army is just, "Ah!" And you guys can tell that the army of the Second Sons can hear the cacophony coming from the triumphant cheers coming from the walls of Iron Fang Keep. So. That is
Gwen elbows Mallow and points to or is the stranger guy around still? Or
he's not actually. Huh. You don't actually know
not
where
surprising.
He's going.
Yeah. I'm sure he's around somewhere.
Kind of guessing that he was going to behave like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just from the way he talks.
Yeah. I'm not.
Goddamn inscrutable NPCs.
Yeah. I'm definitely not concerned about him, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so yeah, this is about late afternoon, I think probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, and the soldiers are completely heartened right now. I'm actually going to bump their morale up by 1 from what it was before.
Fantastic.
So you guys have really demonstrated this. This has gone a long way. You can tell, from the look that you got, Reagan, and that Diego's face is much changed from what it was. He does not have that... it's not unease. It's the certainty that he has in your capabilities is the same as it was when you guys met at the Dragon's Rest in Tuleborg.
Yeah, we should have Diego or Esteban with us when we do our powwows too. That probably could help them and make them feel part of the decision making.
Yeah. I mean, we could still
In the
have an
future.
inner circle thing, but then we can obviously we can't bring them in on everything, but we can.
Well,
when
for
it
their own
comes-
safety.
Yes, right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I will point out that that was excellent teamwork because everybody had a hand in that everything that just went down.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, we haven't heard from
And
Amar
we stayed off
a
execution.
lot today.
We haven't heard from who?
Amar.
Oh,
I lost connection there for a minute.
Okay.
I did. It's been a while now, but yeah, for a while I completely lost everything, so I had to reconnect everything.
Oh shit.
But I think the biggest thing, let's see, was it today we were looking at doing healing, or are we still having to wait till tomorrow for the horn?
we still have until tomorrow, and we also wanted to look in that northern tower and hope that there's not some other huge thing in there that will now depress the morale of the army again.
We wanted to maybe explore the rest of the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next
If you
item
tell
on the
them-
agenda.
If you tell us about the stuff. Malak,
Oh yeah, yep. Once everybody disperses back to their usual positions,
Yep.
then Artera and I will reveal the items that we found, and Mala will describe what each of them is,
Okay.
and see who would like to hold these
Alright.
items.
I would not mind having the Ring of Shooting Stars,
Mm-hmm.
since I lost that amulet.
Yep.
The Wraith.
Yeah.
Reagan literally backs up like 3 steps when you hold out the ring.
I wouldn't.
That's-
I go, Reagan, do not worry. I would not shoot you with lightning. I would just stab you. You would know it if I were coming.
She says you should not even. Yeah, she doesn't say it but she's just like looking. Yeah, that's obviously not the reason why she backed up.
I'm wondering if
But that's how I interpret it. If you back
Yeah,
away
I
from
know, I know, but yes. Yeah.
the lucky hat would be best for Amar. He's the only one that seems to have those kinds of skills.
Yeah.
Is that
I
right?
agree.
And then lastly, we have that dagger of venom.
Well, Reagan doesn't have a magical weapon. At least
Yeah,
right
that-
now, I'm temporarily using
yeah.
Kane's old hammer.
No, the dagger of venom is completely against how she used things too. So.
I have no interest in the dagger of venom,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
so I have a really good dex. I might be able to use it offhand.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Mhm, there you go.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're
Yeah.
adapting to a different. And that +2
Yeah.
it might offset the penalty.
That's true.
Penalty.
Well, I have an 18
Yeah.
dex, and it's a dagger is short, right? So that'll
it is.
Yeah,
probably still be a net benefit. But I will research that in between
Awesome.
sessions.
That's
Okay.
cool. Yeah, yeah. That's
Cool.
It's a good backup weapon anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's magical, and it's got those other abilities, the venom part of it too. It's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the +2 is such a big thing. Like that really bumps the damage up to effectively like a short sword,
Yeah,
right? So, cool.
right.
All right. So then, I guess the last thing you guys were thinking of doing today was the that north tower, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So how does that happen, guys?
Well, I
So
guess
like
Iphigenia
Artera to be. Carl.
Iphigenia and Arter can take the lead, right? If we can go 2 by 2.
Great.
Yeah. I think that was the. Well, yeah. Iphigenia, do you want to take? I think there's only a spot for one person to actually open the door because it gets kind of tight in that corridor.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Well, go ahead. I have a spear, so I can back you up.
Well, your spear's not magical, is it?
No, but
I guess it seems like we're most worried about finding ghosts, but
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Although the shooting stars might be effective.
Gwen's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a.
how about I'll open the door and you can back me up, Iphigenia.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a
Okay.
ghost, Gwen's got that +3 flail that you gave her.
Well, you can be Iphigenia's backup.
Okay. So go
Nice.
ahead, move yourselves over to where that door is, guys, and let me
Okay.
tell me where everyone is sort of positioned here.
Why do you need to know that?
the breath of the Fang Dragon.
That's the great thing. When you play with the tactical map all the time, it keeps the paranoia level of players at a maximum all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Robert's right. The Fang Dragon's breath weapon is pretty wide, so it doesn't really matter exactly where we're standing.
Absolutely. It's going to be so satisfying when I finally get a Fang Dragon in. Oh my god. And you guys are going to be like, we should never have made jokes of this. These things are terrible.
That is true.
Yeah, they really... the only thing worse is a Shadow Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a...
Breath weapon that has level drain. Fuck.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like permanent, but still, if it kills you, you're dead.
Brutal.
I'm kind of blocking your position here, and I'm happy to move back if somebody wants to be in front of me. And if Virginia, you definitely want to be up front, right? Closer to the front.
So Artair is the one who's opening the door?
Yeah, and I think if Virginia, you want to be... Yeah, there you go.
Is it the door up here?
It's to the north up there. Yeah, it's way up here.
Yeah. Okay. So who's standing on top of each other there? What's going on?
I'm trying to move my token, but it's not moving. Now it's in two spaces. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Let's zoom in a bit here. Okay.
I can go up to back here.
Is that not quite a 10 by 10, or is it?
It's a little... Yeah, you guys could squeeze in. Someone could squeeze in behind there if you like.
Behind our chair?
Yeah, so you could do that if you want.
Okay.
Definitely all bunch in there. That's pretty good.
Better for breath.
Yeah.
Better for a breath weapon attack.
Or
Yeah, that 3 hit points, even if you make the save, I'm sure it's going to be...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure all of us get 31 sessions and then you
That's
bite
right.
it.
Just,
After this great, rally the troops scene, we all die.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I'm sure they'll be fine. So everyone's like, yeah, they hear a dull boom from inside the castle. Like, so about that envoy, all right, and Reagan and Amar are keeping their distance there. Is that...
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Reagan's there to... She can't do anything to heal anybody, so at this point she's kind of useless.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say I only got a handful of hit points right now.
So,
yeah, I'm just... Yeah.
She can always cast hold or something.
when you walk up to this door, Artair, you can see that there is, on the metal components of the door, there is that same white rime or frost on it as well. Yeah, like you can picture if someone had, like, you know, like there was a level of dew or condensation on metal that then froze. It's got that on it, and then each of the seams of the door as well too has frost moving out as if it's trying to push its way out from behind the door. What do you do?
We really need to.
Okay, I'm gonna ready the ring. Do I know all the powers already?
If you if the detect magic will give you the sort of like command word you need to spend to actually activate the.
So I'll get the spark shower ready.
So I think that only isn't that underground only.
Yeah. Aren't we in underground?
You are not underground. You are inside a house.
Lightless or dimly illuminated?
What depends on how how brightly you're going to be illuminating this place. I mean, if you want to see, and you do know that when you open that door,
then I can only use it outside. Oh well, okay.
Well, you do have. I mean, it does have.
It has the other thing.
It has the other abilities as well too.
Oh right. Okay, I guess ball lightning. Okay, so ball lightning.
Friendly fire. The last time I gave players an item with fireball or anything like that was our gaming marathon, where someone used it at point blank range and blew up the party. I think George is the only reason that the party survived, because he made an emergency donation to Hero Save Villages to allow the party to survive. So
I put in a lot of hours watching that game.
Yeah. I think somebody. I think
This is such a weird, interesting item.
It wasn't a Helm of Brilliance, was it? It's like I heard a story about a Helm of Brilliance suddenly going off. Like going off at the same time.
Oh man. Okay, so
This guy didn't use this against you? This ring? Holy crap.
yeah.
He did plenty of bad stuff.
Well, no, this was the one that was inside. You guys, this was down pretty quickly.
Yeah, we basically ambushed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was dead almost immediately.
The other one used all sorts of other nasty stuff against us when we went to the
Yeah.
portal.
Well, because he was protected and had the time to do it.
Yeah.
So,
So, Arter, you carefully lay your hand on the door. Do you wear gloves?
Yeah, I've got. Well, now I assume that what I had was like special fingerless gloves for firing my bow originally,
Yeah.
and now I can replace those with the gauntlets.
And for looking
that came with my
badass when you're on
armor.
your BMX.
Exactly.
Okay.
But now I've gone back to my pack and I've replaced my fingerless gloves with the gauntlets that came with the armor when I bought it, basically, so that I can,
Okay.
you know, if I get hit in the hand, I don't just instantly lose a finger.
Sure. So you lay your hands on it, and even through the gloves, there's a feeling of cold when you touch it.
Cool.
You turn the handle and pull the door towards you. Let's see here. And it has been, what, 20 sessions since we've first seen this door. So let's see what's behind
Wow.
Something like that, yeah.
it. Wow. Nothing.
Well, there's a table or something.
Something there.
There does appear
Unless
to be
that's not there.
That is there. It is broken and shattered. So you get in there, and there's more, again, just as if you open the other door, too. There is a drop in temperature of substantially... Now, hold on, Arter.
Okay, I'll move to this square.
Yeah,
That's
so you move
just the
forward.
first step in.
Nope, I'm on the wrong layer. Yeah. And
By
then...
the way, if we found a wooden table like 30 sessions ago, we'd be super psyched because you could burn that thing.
Yeah. Could use it for firewood.
So what you see first is you open up, and there's nothing in there. There's there's a small accumulation of mist or condensation that swirls around like ice fog that spills out, and you can feel it chill your feet, Iphigenia and Arter and Gwyn, as you open the door. And as you step inside, something begins to form, standing right in front of you. And what it looks like
I don't know.
is this.
Oh, good.
Boy,
I'm sure
it
he's
was
friendly.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing where this figure differs from the image is there's not a skull on the hilt of the handle, and around its neck, the cloak is clasped. Where it stands, let's see here, it's right there. And Gwyn, are you poking your head around the corner to see in there too?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Then what I need is Arter, Iphigenia, and Gwyn to give me a save versus sorcery, please. If you have a willpower adjustment from a high wisdom, that applies here.
I do not have that. So save versus sorcery. That is a failure.
I think
Sounds
we all
like
know.
What the consequence is before spending Astonishing Fortune? Because
Nope.
I think
Virginia
I'm
makes
spend Astonishing Fortune.
Let's see here. Okay, if he gets a success, excellent.
Yeah. I actually can use my +2 against sorcery finally.
Nice.
Cool.
Gwyn gets a success as well, too.
Good job, boy.
So, Arter, you feel something tightening up in your stomach, and you'll find out what the consequences are in 2 weeks' time.
Oh.
So, guys,
Open up.
let's talk
Awesome.
XP here, because that was some pretty fucking great role-playing from today.
And
So,
we identified 3 items.
yeah, and the items are going to be worth a pretty penny as far as
Yeah,
XP
that-
goes.
Are you sure you want to give us that ring of shooting stars, Kevin?
Oh.
You sure it's going to help you?
Oh, it's gonna help.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
This just gives Kevin the ability to throw anything else he wants at us.
Well, and also,
Exactly.
like, this is those are all random items
Just-
too. Like, I have
Oh,
not
wow.
picked
Yeah,
anything
I
for
love it.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's
That's
all
He's
right.
really
Yeah,
just
I
beefing us up for a
randomly-
Fang Dragon.
Yeah.
I randomly rolled up a Mace of Disruption for somebody in the game
Oh, nice.
recently. So Which I kind of regret. I mean, it makes him mow down undead like nothing. So
He can't throw a Fang Dragon at us until he beefs us up a little bit and gives us some tools so that we don't die in the first round.
well, random encounters are hilarious. So
Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. So, guys, today, and everyone's got the 10% bonus, right?
Yeah.
an astonishing fortune, I guess, if we.
Yeah, and no one spent any astonishing fortune today, so I've got that all banked. Then, guys, your total XP for today, including the 10% bonus, 1,108. So 1108 is your XP for this session. Anybody ding?
Nope. So close. I'm about 2,000 away.
Getting there.
I still think I must have done. I must have been thinking it was a quarter XP or something in the sessions that I missed.
All right. So then, guys, that will be where we will leave our session, and we'll see what happens. You guys learned a lot. You met some new friends, and you... I'm not sure what you'd count this thing as, but...
I don't know if he's my friend.
I'm gonna guess not.
More like an acquaintance at this point.
He said he's wearing he said he was wearing a cloak. He was wearing like a cloak.
Cloak,
like
yeah, that
Mar
has a clasp on it that is the same as the Ranger's clasp on Malo's cloak, and that you've seen on some of the other spectral figures in the main chamber. Though this one looks a little grander, a little more. You know what it reminds you of? Remember when you met Ahote, and his cloak had that slightly different like fur fringe around it? This figure seems to have the same, or something similar at least.
So you're saying it's like general stars across the whatever you call them.
I'm saying it looks very similar to a more elaborate cloak, similar to how Ahote wore, with different from his Rangers.
Very interesting.
So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for episode 31 of the Reavers of Thule campaign. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. If you don't want to miss our forays back into Thule, be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon so you'll know when we go live. You can also find on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel the schedule for every week. I post that every Sunday. In addition, there is a link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where you can find all of us. We have a channel dedicated to this campaign as well as all other campaigns that we run on the channel, and things like Find a Game. There's a channel discussing streaming where there's a bunch of great advice for how to set up streaming yourself and how to play online. A bunch of different options that are discussed on that channel most recently, especially in light of the kind of housebound life that a lot of us are living right now. In addition, you can reach me by Twitter. On Twitter, I am at Dungeon Musings. You can reach me by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. In addition, there's a link in the description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, which is active in over 130 countries, providing advocacy and most importantly, supportive living environments for over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. It's really an amazing program, and you can learn all about it by following through on that link and learning more about SOS Children's Villages International. And I know that there are a lot of people who are in a lot of need right now in light of the current crisis, but I did get an email from them earlier this week indicating that at least one of their villages has had one of the moms that they sort of employ to serve as surrogate mothers did test positive for the coronavirus. So they are being affected by this as much as what the rest of the world is. So if you do find yourself in a position to consider donating, I'd ask you to consider donating to that. All donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International to help them with the very great work that they do. But again, like, this is a very, very difficult time for everybody, at the time of recording. So if people are not, I don't want anyone to feel obliged to donate. This is a challenging time for everybody. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So Will, George, Arlen, Dave, Carl, and Robert, thank you so much for joining me today. It's 31 sessions, guys. We are well into our second year of this campaign now. And yeah,
That's right.
It feels like you guys are, in the last couple of sessions, the world suddenly got bigger for you than what it was before. So
Yes, for sure.
love it.
I only wish
Awesome.
I would have joined you guys sooner. This is so much fun.
Yes.
I love this game.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. We actually, the group getting bigger too. Hobbs has made some noise about potentially coming back at some point too. So we
Yeah, I saw
may,
Maybe.
maybe
We'll see.
if he may came
We'll
back,
see.
and if he, what do you call it, Preda. So anyway, so guys, yes, thank you so much for joining me. This is what a pleasure and a joy to take a break from the housebound life and the current stresses to go and try and kill you guys in Thule. So thanks, guys.
We did our best
Thank you.
to do it today.
Awesome. And I guess last thing I'll say too is if you did enjoy the game, I know that the publisher of Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea is it's a company called Northwind Adventures. But it's one guy. It's Jeff Talanian, the author of this massive game. And I know that they, like a lot of other people, are struggling right now, and they have been offering some pretty great deals on it too. So if the game is something that looks interesting to you, click through to Northwind Adventures or to DriveThru and check it out. I have had a phenomenal amount of fun with this game over the last little while, and another way of sort of helping the community and helping the company, I guess, or making sure that you can see cool games like this is by supporting Northwind Adventures. Jeff is a really, really great guy. He's been very generous with the channel in terms of the things he's offered us, including my pretty awesome hydration equipment here. But it's a game that I really love a lot, and I know that it's like his entire staff is himself, some contractors that he has to write adventures for him, and his daughter, who is his shipping department. So if it is a game that you dig and you do have some funds if you don't want to donate to charity, you can pick up some cool gaming stuff and help ensure that they survive the crisis, and we get to see some pretty cool gaming stuff in the future as well too. So that is the end of it. I'll end with saying, guys, what's that?
Worth mentioning, it's a great looking product kind of no matter where you're coming from. The physical book is awesome, super well put together. PDF, you don't quite get the heft of the 600 pages of physical book, but it's great. It's one of the first OSR things that I've gotten, and it's easily the one I use the most. So
The player's book is awesome too.
yeah, player's book is great too, and it's even cheaper.
And they didn't give us any books. We bought all our copies. So
No, and that's just it.
we
Yeah,
just love the game.
we don't. We don't take donations or things like that for the charity we do. But it's a game I like enough that I've purchased 2 copies of the core rulebook that I'll be auctioning off with our charity raffle coming up later this year once all this current shit is over. So yeah, it's definitely something that we're putting our money where our mouths are as far as supporting Jeff and his company. So anyway,
Can you order directly from Jeff?
you can order directly from him. You can also get it through, for Canadians, it's actually a little more affordable to get it through Noble Knight, because that's who Andrew, who plays in our Crystal Shard games and our one of our other games, that's how he got it. So for Canadians, that's a more cost-effective way to get a hold of it. For Americans, you can order directly, and you don't get hit with the crazy fucking import charge that we get dinged with. And elsewhere in the world. Oh, and I don't know where it is. Pete from Garblag Games had said where he got his copy of Ash from. There is a European distributor as well too, but I don't remember who that is. Anyway,
But I'm sure Jeff Talanian will tell you if you ask him. He's super active on Twitter.
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is kind of that, guys. I keep wanting to spend more time with you guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. So, guys, thanks again. This has been a great session. Colin, I'm sorry we missed you today. Hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. But for those listening at home, once again, thank you so much for joining us back in the frozen wastes of Thule. And what the hell's that jungle smell on the other side of the portal? I don't know. We'll have to find out in 2 weeks.
Man.
Yeah. Soon. Until next time, though, thank you, everyone. And until we see you again, happy gaming.